They say that the truth shall set you free, but in some cases the truth can be very painful. For example, in the 1930s, under the rule of Joseph Stalin, around 6 million people were deported from their homes in the Soviet Union. They were deported to Siberia. That's around 135 miles or 220 kilometers from Moscow. The deportees were mostly political prisoners, but also included many ordinary citizens who were accused of crimes against the state. Many of them were never able to return to their homes. In this video, we will look at some of the stories of those who were deported during the Soviet era. We will also look at the legacy of this dark chapter in history and how it continues to affect people today. Under Stalin's rule, the Soviet Union was transformed into a totalitarian state. The government controlled every aspect of people's lives, and anyone who opposed the regime was at risk of being arrested and deported. In the early 1930s, Stalin's secret police, the NKVD, began arresting people en masse. They were accused of crimes such as sabotage, treason, and conspiracy against the state. Most of these people did not know why they were arrested. They were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. After being arrested, they were transported by train to one of the many gulags in Siberia. The journey to Siberia was long and brutal. The trains were overcrowded, and the conditions were filthy. Many people died on the journey. Those who survived were often too weak to get off the train when they arrived at their destination. Once in the gulag, the deportees were forced to work long and hard for little or no pay. They were also denied basic human rights. Many of them were tortured, and some were executed. The conditions in the gulag were so bad that many people died from starvation and disease. It is estimated that around 6 million people were deported to Siberia during the Soviet era. This includes around 1.5 million Russians, 1 million Ukrainians, 800,000 Belarusians, 500,000 Latvians, and 200,000 each from Lithuania and Estonia. Many of those deported were never able to return to their homes. They were simply lost forever in the vast wilderness of Siberia. The Soviet government tried to cover up the deportations, but the truth eventually came out. After the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, many of the deportees and their families began to search for their lost loved ones. Some of them were able to find their relatives, but for many, their loved ones are still missing. The deportations during the Soviet era were a dark chapter in history. It is important that we remember this terrible event so that we can learn from it and make sure that it never happens again.